Look at how pretty that is. Good morning. We're at my meeting. I'm gonna try and film some stuff today because they have some really cool equipment here that you guys are gonna want to see. I don't know if it's gonna happen. It's gonna be awkward, but we're gonna do what we can because I've already seen an 8RX and an X9. We got to get some video. Dudes, look at this thing. Wow. Yeah, it's impressive. It's a lot cleaner, a lot less belts and pulleys on this side. Yeah. Interesting. Feeder house is wider. Wow, it's locked. I can't go in.
Auto guidance. Well, that's when you put something on the seat and get out and even take a wheel. You don't stop. Just keep rolling.
The contrast I would draw.
Wow.
What I would expect.
Pretty impressive. That sieve is huge. So much more area to clean than our combine. Wow. Pretty dang cool. We've also got a 16-year-old corn head here. A new one. That feeder house is enormous. Stairs are different. Crazy. Yeah, that looks pretty complex. Yeah. Imagine that belt is no fun to change. Alright, let's look at this for a little bit. Also new, cool, never seen one before. Wow. It's the hood is a lot taller than I was anticipating. This one's not locked. Wow. Got your built-in fridge. Very, very cool. This whole armrest is completely different than anything we have in our tractors. This I wouldn't know how to drive this tractor. I would need a lesson. You know, these are familiar. Hydraulics, 3-point, throttle, radio controls, that I can figure out, but this I have no idea. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Someday, maybe. Someday. Probably not an 8RX, but at least something with this style cab. Look how easy it would be to get in here and clean this. No tires. They take up a lot of space. Yeah, well, that's all pretty familiar. The ground clearance and the height of this is really surprising to me. I was not anticipating how high it sets. These track units they're big, but yeah, that would work pretty good. The lighting on this thing is crazy. Oh, someday. You can get me one, right, Jake?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Yup. Cool. Somebody needed to wash better. They probably put talc in there on the tracks. That's what that is. Cool. Sorry, I know that's what I keep saying, but it's really cool. Like, I'm impressed. This grain cart is relatively familiar. It's an Underfirth 1300 bushel cart, but Underfirth is the same company that makes Brent, which is what our grain cart is. So the tracks are similar. These are a little bit longer, 4 mid rollers instead of 2. And this is a single auger cart instead of a dual auger like our Avalanche. And so they're a little bit different, but a lot of similar features. Same thing. It's got the same auto luber, same track design, same tongue hitch, you know, that kind of stuff. So I just sat through a session here on John Deere rippers and tillage and true set. We got a 2730 down here. I think I should give this guy a new one for the bearings on their disc gangs. We got a new 2730, almost identical to ours. A few little updates to it. I'll show you if I get a chance here. They've put a grease zerk on these disc gang bearings. Ours does not have that. Interesting. The tires are a lot bigger. A lot bigger. Like there's hardly any room between them there. The ripper shanks and everything else looks the same. The closing wheel disc stuff is all the same. Although they did tell me that they're putting bearing or grease zerks on those closing disc frames as well, which was just to purge old grease out. I didn't quite understand what he was telling me, but what it tells me is that they know they have a problem with their current design and they still won't stand behind it. Thanks, John Deere. Got a couple other high-speed disc vertical tillage tools here, and they had some strips they ran out in the field trials with them. Pretty interesting to see there the difference between what these two did.
Basically up and down, you got your block. That's about it. 25 foot wide, and took that track.
This one's a 2660. Be similar to our Landau, just their version of it. Adjustable gang angles, some differences. 8400R, nice. It's the adjustable gangs. Basically, that makes it more or less aggressive. Big tractor up here too. So the gist of this presentation was just tillage and depth and burying residue and seed bed prep and stuff. And what I got out of it was that these short high-speed discs that's hooked up to this tractor, not as good. Don't do as good a job sizing, leave too much ridging underneath. So I don't know, we don't have one, we don't have either one. I was surprised to hear that, but interesting anyway. So nice tractor here, 9520, so this would be basically just a series newer than our 9510. You can see they moved the fuel tanks and changed the styling quite a bit, but not much difference horsepower wise. All right, moving on from tillage to harvest stuff. A 790 here, 16-year-old corn head on it. We're learning about stalk rolls, chopping corn heads out here. We got this one out here, and there's 3 different stalk rolls that John Deere offers, so you could look at those. These are their chopping rolls. This one is intermeshing, Romax intermeshing rolls, knife rolls, and then opposed knife rolls. I used to run the opposed knife rolls like this, where they line up right there. But we put a third-party stock rolls on our corn head a year or 2 ago. Probably pretty hard to tell on video, but there is some differences in what it does with the residue, as far as the length of the stalks and how it's chopping it up. This one's a little more chopped up. Interesting. It is much more likely that we end up with a combine like this one than the X9 over there. Also on this field of corn, you'll notice they already gelled it. They said they planted 90-day corn and they sprayed it as soon as it was starting to pollinate, so there was no grain here. It's a good way to need to run a 16-year-old corn head, because when you don't have to worry about getting the grain away from it, you can take as many rows as you need to. Doing some nutrient application stuff. They got a pretty cool applicator there. Not something we'll ever buy because, well, it's way too expensive. But talking about broadcasting fertilizer in season on beans here. Pretty interesting stuff. Okay, we are done with our plot tours and stuff. Time for a walk around of the X9 with the guy from the factory. Do some snooping while we can. Quite a bit different arrangement of everything up here. A lot of open space there in front of the engine and the fuel tank, but the exhaust is in a different spot. Everything's different here. Well, it doesn't look that big of a grain tank, but it is. 500 bushel maybe? I don't know. It's big. It's big. Impressive. That's a light. Weird. Those are cool. I'm amazed by them. That one up there. It's impressive. The radiator. That's all different. That side paneling's all different. So one of the biggest differences between this combine and ours is the twin rotors. So instead of one, got one over there and one over here. Splits the crop and it has, yeah, twin rotors, so it's got a lot more capacity because of that. But that's a very different thing.
On this decal emblem on the outside is going to be illuminated, and that's so the neighbors know that it is a John Deere corn.
Well, they unlocked the combine so we can come sit in it. Impressive. Same handle, looks like, as the tractor's pretty similar. All kinds of screens in here, including the radio.
But I would be happy to demonstrate it to you on your farm.
Pretty awesome. Okay. Pretty awesome. All right. Good meeting. Thanks to Greenmark and John Deere for putting that on. I wasn't expecting to see some of that equipment today, so that was really cool. But anyway, we're heading back. We got to do irrigation stuff tonight, so we'll wrap it up there. Okay guys, I am back up at the irrigation field. It is quite a while later after we've left that meeting, obviously, as it's dark out here. I decided not to start this up immediately when we got back. I got home, I don't know, around 6:30 or so. But if I would have started it then, it would be a middle of the night run. So I decided to wait. I'm going to start it up now. It'll take all night. It'll be in the morning before we have to come back up here. So that's why. But anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this up here. You guys don't need to see this again. So thanks again to Greenmark, to my salesman Jake, and to John Deere for letting me come to that meeting today. It was one of John Deere's lead meetings, which is, I just looked this up and I forgot what it stands for, but something about economic and agronomic development, something, I don't know. Anyway, it wasn't really a sales pitch meeting, although it kind of was. But it was a very agronomic focused, and why are we doing tillage? What's the proper way to do tillage? And what tools will allow us to do it the right way? And looking at planning, planter performance and row spacing trials. A lot of the same stuff that I've got in my plots down here that they're doing replicated, and pretty nice trials and plots and stuff. So I enjoyed it. I was really glad to go. I had no idea that equipment was going to be there, none whatsoever. I wasn't going to make a video today, and then I got there and I saw an X9 and an 8RX, and I thought, well, I got to make a video. So hope you guys enjoyed that. We will be back here at the farm tomorrow. I don't really know what's going on just yet. We'll figure that out when I get back in the morning. Irrigation. Hopefully it's going to be raining. There's a pretty good chance of rain tomorrow, so we'll see on that, and we'll go from there. So have a great night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe buttons for me if you would, and check back tomorrow. If you got any questions, comments, leave them down below. Talk to you later.